So will the recent Signalgate scandal trigger a massive downfall for the Trump administration? Legendary Democratic strategist James Carville made this bold prediction just a month ago.
I believe that this administration, in less than 30 days, in the midst of a massive collapse, in particularly a collapse in public opinion.
He recently advised Democrats in a New York Times op-ed to embark on the most daring political maneuver in the history of our country: roll over and play dead, allow the Republicans to crumble beneath their own weight, and make the American people miss us. Joining me now is the Ragin' Cajun. He's a veteran political consultant, co-host of the Politics War Room podcast, and the man behind Bill Clinton's 1992 campaign victory. So a month ago, here's the full quote of what you wrote, James, in the Times. At this rate, the honeymoon, the Trump honeymoon, will be over. Best case by Memorial Day, but more likely in the next 30 days. And in November of 2025, we start turning the tide with what will be remembered as one of the most important elections in recent years, the Virginia governor's race. You know that we extended this invitation to you a month ago when you first wrote those words, because we thought, what will Carville say when that deadline comes? What are you thinking?
Well, what tense are we in? Is it collapsing or has it collapsed? That's the only argument to have. And I was wrong. I said Memorial Day is before April Fool's Day, which the Trump administration should make a national holiday because it so accurately represents who they are. So I'm not really, we're not arguing when we look at what's happening in the markets. We look at what's happening on Signalgate. We look at what's happening all around us, treating measles with apricot pits or something like that. I think the thing is collapsed, but I'll go to you. Let's take the middle ground here and say it's collapsing, and I'll meet you halfway. But that's about all I can do.
Harry Enton, I really respect his opinion. He crunches numbers for us here at CNN, and he spoke to Trump and right track, wrong track numbers. Let's roll the clip and then have James respond. Go ahead.
Sure.
All we talk about is how unpopular Donald Trump is. But in reality, he's basically more popular than he was at any point in term number one, and more popular than he was when he won election back in November of 2024.
I mean, James, to have these numbers and be any other newly inaugurated president, you'd be regarded as a disaster. But for him, doesn't Harry have a point? His base is holding, and as compared to his other numbers, he's doing quite well.
Well, he's a mathematical genius. He knows algorithms. He knows regression analysis. He can look at things. Myself, I'm a humble political consultant. What I look at is election returns. Yeah, voters voting. If you notice, Trump couldn't put Stefanik as UN ambassador because they were scared they were going to lose a district that Trump carried by 20. I'm going to read the election returns in Wisconsin on Tuesday night. I'm not going to do a regression analysis or anything or a complicated mathematical formula. So I guess what it comes down to, I'm just too dumb because I'm a guy that believes that winning elections is the most important thing there is in the United States.
When you wrote in the Times and you spoke of rolling over and playing dead, you said, allow the Republicans to crumble beneath their own weight and make the American people miss us. But if the approval rating of the Democratic Party is at 29%, according to CNN's data, who's missing Democrats right now? They might be upset with Trump, but who's really missing the Democrats?
Well, first of all, this is a glorious opportunity for the Democratic Party to redefine itself, to take this as what it is. And apparently some people in the news media are not. It's the gravest crisis we've had in the United States in the last 80 years. You understand what we're looking at? We're looking at the kind of end of the rule of law. We're looking at nincompoops and blockheads and buffoons running the country. And if Democrats, and again, I had no idea. I thought I'd have to wait longer for the imminent collapse. It happened even faster than I could imagine. So I don't know exactly what we're arguing about. They won't run in a plus 20 district. I don't think they're going to do that well in Wisconsin. Let's see what happens in Florida. But you got people that represent states and congressional districts that have a 15, 20 or more partisan lean to the Democrats, and they're kind of motor mouth caucus. You know, get elected governor of Georgia, then I'll be impressed. Or do as my friend Andy Beshear did, get elected governor of Kentucky, then come back and see me. But
okay, I do think
the party can redefine itself.
Still staying focused now on your side of the aisle. Here's what Governor Newsom said last night to Bill Maher. Roll it.
We just have to continue to talk to ourselves, or we're in the same damn echo chamber. These guys are crushing us. The Democratic brand is toxic right now. We had a high water mark 2 weeks ago, and that was a CNN poll at 29% favorability. It's dropped in the NBC poll down to 27%. It's one thing to make noise, but you also have to make sense.
He says the Democratic brand is toxic right now. What are Democrats doing to fill the vacuum or the void that Trump is leaving open?
Well, let's see how toxic it is in Wisconsin. All right. I mean, the toxicity is relative to your opponents. The second thing is, I'm not going to get bent out of shape about the party rating in March of an odd number year. Let's see what happens in Virginia. Let's see what happens when you have these really, really talented people run for president. This whole thing is, and the Democrats, they went 27. What they going to do? They have a chance to redefine themselves, to talk about issues that matter to people, and get away from this this plus 25 Democratic identity politics, which hurt us more than anything. But I think we're away from that. And I think you see some real talent. But it doesn't matter what the party rating is. What matters are elections. I cannot drive that point home enough. They did a movie about me, and I love the title. Winning is everything, stupid. And the reason people don't like the Democrats is we didn't win. And until we win, I'm not going to like the Democrats.
Final comment. This comes from a critique to your Times op-ed of a month ago, the Muhammad Ali, the rope-a-dope strategy. Put this on the screen. Mr. Carville makes some very good points today. However, looking down the road, how can we undo all the damage to our country, our citizens, our allies inflicted by their actions? It most likely will take decades to reverse this damage, reserve this damage, but I'm correcting it for them. In the past, we could count on the judicial branch to protect us. Now we are in never, never land. It's just so bizarre. This person says these are no times for rope-a-dope strategy. You get the final word.
Well, I think he's a very intelligent person, and I don't know how long it'll take us to unring this bell, because that's what I have to do. But again, if we're smart, and we Muhammad Ali, and we knock him out in the 7th round, I'll be plenty happy enough with that. I'm just calling on Democrats to be strategic, not to be emotional, to understand what the dynamics are. That if you look at this whole Signalgate thing, you think it's going to be over? You think people that are stupid are going to stop being stupid? You think people that are buffoons are going to stop being buffoons? No, they're going to keep doing that. And you're looking at Stephen Miller running the foreign policy and defense policy of the United States. Take a look at that guy. Go look him up. Look at a picture of him and tell me, does this guy really, you really want him running the show? Is that where you are?
I'd love to get him on this program. Yeah, I want him on this program on a split screen with you, and let's have that conversation together. I have to run.
All right, Michael.
We'll do this again in 30 more days. Thank you, sir. Checking in now on your social media comments. What else has come in during the course of the program? Republicans and Trump are dismantling our government, but leave it to Michael to focus on the Democrats. Jay Clark, the whole premise was that James Carville said 30 days ago that Trump would be collapsing in 30 days. So the intent of the discussion was to say, how you doing with that prediction? He's standing by it. He thinks that he was prescient. And what? I'm not going to ask the Ragin' Cajun about how the Democrats are doing? Take it up with Bill Maher for asking the same question of Gavin Newsom last night.